Hey guys and girls and everything in between, it's your podcasting pal, Psycho Steve, here on Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow. Today, we're very fortunate and blessed to have one of my favorite guitarists from one of my favorite bands that you don't really hear much about anymore unless you're a fan of the music. I am talking about Mr. Kristy Majors of Pretty Boy Floyd. Good day, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time. Yes, it's you for you. Yes. So thank you so much for taking the time off your busy schedule. I know you're quite busy with Pretty Boy Floyd, and you're also your agency and other projects that you do participate in. So,
yeah, everything I do, everything I thank you. Thank you for having me. And everything I do revolves around music, so that's my passion. And I'm going to keep on doing it till the day I die. So
right on. So let's get right to it. Pretty Boy Floyd, was it your way of coming up with the name, or who came up with the actual name?
Actually, who came up with the name was Kim Fowley.
Okay.
Yep, Kim Fowley, record producer. Are you familiar with Kim?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Awesome.
So Kim Fowley came up with the name. I think it was he saw us on the Sunset Strip, and he stopped us in the middle of the street. And if you know Kim Fowley, or if anybody knows Kim Fowley, he's a really tall, Kim Fowley passed away a while ago, but he was, really tall, and he was always had like crazy colored hair, like green hair or blue hair or makeup, whatever it might be. He was definitely a character, and he stopped us when we were just walking on the strip. It was before we even played a show, and he was just like, "Who are you guys?"
Right.
And came to a couple of rehearsals, and then all of a sudden, just like out of the blue, just like, I'll tell you, Pretty Boy Floyd. I'm like, what? That's the name of your band.
Right. Right, because there's been rumors about that you guys came up with the name, or like when you guys were playing with like Ugly Kid Joe, that you guys came up with that. It's how Ugly Kid Joe came up with the band, since they were doing direct support for you guys, since you guys were Pretty Boy Floyd,
I heard about that maybe like about a year later, after it was some show we were supposed to play up in like San Luis Obispo or something like that, and we actually never even played the show. We canceled the show. And I heard, after Ugly Kid Joe broke with the song, I heard them saying that's how they got their name, was trying to be the opposite of Pretty Boy Floyd. They're Pretty Ugly Kid Boy Joe, whatever. So, that's pretty interesting.
Awesome. So was guitar your first instrument?
Guitar was my first instrument, yes. My grandfather was he was a big musician. He played a lot of instruments, clarinet, saxophone, guitar, piano, and I can go on. But he had this really old, like 1950s, acoustic Gibson. And I just used to like fiddle around on that, and then eventually he started showing me some chords and some how to strum it and everything. So he kind of like showed me the basics when I was pretty young. My grandparents, my grandfather, and everybody from his side of the family were very musically inclined. They love music, and Sundays would be dinners of 40. I come from a 100% Italian sort of family.
Right.
So every Sunday would be dinner would start at 11 o'clock and go till 10 o'clock at night, and there would just be food and music and gambling.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
American way.
I miss those days.
Now you're a New Yorker. Originally, native New Yorker, right? And you said you're an Italian. I have to ask, what do you call the sauce? Gravy, or do you call it sauce, or do you call it ragu?
Pasta sauce.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I call it pasta sauce.
Nice. All right. So your first electric guitar, do you still own it?
No. My first electric guitar was a guitar. It was called a Carlo Robelli.
Interesting.
I don't know. They were knockoff of Gibson Les Pauls, and I don't know where I got it. I got it at some store some music store. I don't know. It wasn't like a big music store. It wasn't like a Sam Ash or anything like that, or a Guitar Center, nothing like that. It was just like some kind of like more local guitar store, and it was a guitar. Carlo Rebelli was the name of the guitar, and it was a really bad guitar because it was like, my fingers were like pretty much bleeding from me to push the strings down.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
That's dedication, though.
At least I was able to get that sound from an acoustic guitar, which was playing both on an acoustic guitar is just not the same as playing on an electric guitar. So.
Nice. All right. So besides Pretty Boy Floyd, were you ever in any other band before Pretty Boy Floyd broke out that we know?
I had a small little band in New York called Jet Black. Well, the original name was called Sick Bitch.
Okay.
We really couldn't get any gigs, but then we changed our name to Jet Black, and it's kind of funny because we spelled it JETTBLAKK, and now there's like a big band that uses that name, and it's spelled the exact same way.
Right.
But we were like kind of like a thrash glam band.
Wow.
Like we were playing like almost we were somewhat influenced by like Exodus and Overkill, and that's what was going on in the New York scene at that time, Anthrax and SOD and all that stuff, right?
Right on.
And I was heavily into that. I used to love to go to L'Amour's, Brooklyn, and see my favorite bands, and just like really just get into the mosh pit and just like have a good time. So I really love that, but I also loved Alice Cooper and Kiss and Motley Crue and all that kind of stuff. So it was just kind of natural for me to kind of like to put both together, even though people just didn't get it at that time. I don't think they would ever get it. But we were on the L'Amour's Brooklyn compilation record. We were on a couple of Metal Master records, compilation records, and just it was really tough to get a deal in New York City at that time. So.
Awesome. So when PBF got signed, what did you buy with your first advance?
Actually, me and Kerry Kane, our drummer, we actually went and we got an apartment.
Nice.
I was living in the for about a year.
Right.
And then when we finally got our advance, I finally was like, I'm going to get my own freaking apartment instead of like sleeping on this futon in the rehearsal room. So that's what I did.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
So
if it was a bigger advance, I would have bought a house, but it wasn't.
Right on. Okay. Well, okay. That came later, right?
No. You really making this money in Pretty Boy Floyd, it was, if you got to maybe your third or fourth record, and you sold, millions, then you're making some money, but, one or two records, trying to just recoup that money is real tough. Unless you're going to realize it and sold like 15 million albums, it off your first record. So,
makes sense. Now, how did you become an agent, and why an agent?
I was, I think when I stopped playing Pretty Boy Floyd, maybe in was it in 92? I think it was maybe 92.
Right.
I went to school and I became a paralegal, actually.
Okay.
And I was thinking about going into law.
Okay.
And I told our old attorney, his name was Robert Toro, he was the attorney for Pretty Boy Floyd, and I asked him if he needed any help, and he kind of laughed at me because he was kind of like our lawyer/manager. He was kind of like co-manager with somebody else. So he said, he goes, you know what, this is going to be great. He goes, so wait, you're going to come work for me and I get to yell and scream at you the way you yell and scream at me? Come on in.
That's awesome.
He's like, payback's going to be a bitch. And it was pretty funny. So I worked with him, and then he took me over to Relativity Records, and he was he got brought into Relativity Records R.E.D. And it was my spent a few years over there, and then I had signed some swing bands when swing was like really popular in the 90s.
Right. Yeah, like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and the Squirrel Nut Zippers.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and Jumpin' Giants and World Crown Review. World Crown Review is one of the bands that I had worked with. We recorded a live record at the Mint. There's a little club here, and they have a 24-track studio in the back. So we made the record for free, and the record started getting played on radio stations everywhere, and they sold, over 100,000 copies in a few months. It was pretty insane off of a live record. And then they signed with Warner Brothers after that. But everyone started calling me up and wanted me to work with their swing band at that time, and it was really big. And so they had maybe 10 swing bands. And so, Charlie Stern would call me up and be like, hey, I want a swing band for my birthday party, blah, 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 at the condo room. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, 10 grand. He's like, okay, no problem. And then, friends would call and say they would be like, television show friends. They would call and be like, hey, we have a rap party. It's our last episode. Blah, blah, blah. We want a swing band. And I'm like, yeah, I got this band. Oh, wow, 25,000. They're like, okay. So I just kind of fell into kind of like booking that kind of stuff, and then I found it to be a lot more enjoyable, right? And I was being my own boss, and I didn't have anybody looking over my shoulder and telling me what to do, and I didn't have to set certain times to be in and certain times that I can leave. So I kind of really enjoyed that. So I met my friend Chuck, who was working at this other agency, and I took him with me, and I said, hey, I'm going to start this agency. Why don't you come with me? He had some bands of his own, and he was doing it. So, I just started it, and now it's around 15 years now. Actually, then this is our best year that we've had in 19 years. So.
Awesome. Congratulations to that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I've used actually your services in the past because I used to book, there was a nightclub in northern New Jersey called Double D's, and it was a half gentleman's club on one side and a rock club on the other side. So you have the best of both worlds, And we had, some of your guests, some of your artists perform at our venue. I find that, over the years, from booking, I find that most of the promoters are fans of music, and that's why they got into it. And, a lot of times when they book the bands, they're fans of the band that they're booking. Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
That's
the only way I'll do it,
Yeah, that's the way I find, because it's some shows you win, some shows you lose. It's you never know how it's going to turn out. But they are fans of the music, and that's what the great thing about it is.
Absolutely.
And I'm a fan of music as well. So me being involved with I love all styles of music. So me being involved with that as well, and then talking to promoters in these clubs, who are booking bands and they're fans of the music as well. It's just it's a really great job, and I really love doing it.
Awesome. Now, speaking of musicians and everything, if there could be a musician, either dead or alive, that you can either record with or play with, who would it be with, and why?
Elvis Presley.
Really?
Elvis Presley is the only person I call a rock star. I don't think anybody else is a rock star besides Elvis Presley. I think Elvis Presley is the one and only rock star. The ooze of rock stardom with his voice, his image, his style, everything about him was just was perfect.
Right on.
And yeah, just to be in his, if I could just be in his presence and actually, whatever, I don't care if I was playing a triangle on stage or something like that, I would be like, I'd be thrilled.
Nice.
Actually, Elvis was the reason why I dyed my hair black.
Really?
I was 15 years old. My parents had went away on a vacation. I was like, I want to look like fucking Elvis Presley, So I went to somebody that I knew who was a hairdresser. And I said, I want you to make my hair look like Elvis. And so they dyed my hair black, and I kind of like trying to put it in the pompadour and everything. And then my parents came home, and I was just like, what do you think? And they're like, oh my God. And it was pretty shocking for them because my natural hair is kind of like a sandy blonde hair.
Wow. Okay.
Back then it was, but now it's just pure gray. But yeah, I wanted to be Elvis Presley when I was a kid so bad.
Ah, that's pretty awesome. Well, I lost my hair in a divorce, so it makes me feel any better. That's one thing that I got lucky with. I got lucky with my hair. I'm never going to go bald. My hair is still crazy thick. But, yeah, I got lucky there. Right on. All right. Speaking of Elvis and other musicians, of all the musicians that you've worked with, or actually you've just gone to a show because you've had access because of, your stardom of being in Pretty Boy Floyd and also being an agent for 19 years now. Have you ever been starstruck?
Starstruck?
Yeah.
One time I was. I look up to a lot of the musicians that I've worked with and that I've seen or book shows with. But there was one time we were playing the Universal Amphitheater. It was before we had a record deal. So we had just gotten signed actually, but we hadn't even started recording our record. And we got asked to open up the Warren at the Universal Amphitheater. Cool. And we were playing weekends at like the Zaris and the Roxy, and now all of a sudden they're telling us in front of 6,000 people. We were like, yeah, we'll do it. So anyway, we played the show, and then afterwards, backstage, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley were there.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, and Kiss was one of my idols. So, it's like, I go up to Paul, I ask him for a picture, and he was gracious enough to give us a picture, and then go up to Gene, and Gene's like, no pictures. And I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. You're in my fucking dressing room. I go, I saw you when I was 11 years old in Madison Square Garden, man. Come on. like no pictures. And I'm like, Paul took the picture. Why can't you be cool like Paul? And so, anyway, he was being a dick, but then he started, I seen him, he's walking around, just making his rounds, trying to pick up the girls and everything. So I went over to the security guard. I'm like, you see that guy over there? And I'm like, Gene Simmons? I'm like, yeah. I go, can you escort him out of our fucking dressing room?
Right on. That's awesome.
Had his ass kicked out of the dressing room, and Paul kind of heard say it. He was laughing, and Paul stayed, and Gene left.
That's fantastic. Wow.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, how can I put it? I've worked with Kiss for a long time, and then I took a little break, and and my father was very close with Bill Aucoin and stuff like that. And then I had a falling out with Gene because, just like you said, sometimes he can be super nice, and then sometimes he can be a dick, So I totally get it.
Yeah, Gene's Gene, and he's very outspoken, and you love him or hate him for the way he is, but right. I still respect him to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
Icon, great music, and
right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So,
and then Bill Aucoin. We worked with Bill Aucoin, for a while. We kind of got dumped from MCA, and when I was trying, Bill Aucoin and Ken Kramer were trying to help Pretty Boy Floyd out, saying, hey, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, help you guys get a new record deal. And then, when I heard what his idea was, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Oh.
That's what made me stop.
Nice.
Yeah, he wanted the band to wear these like top pieces with like G-strings and like these like boots that went, like high boots and like nothing else. And then like have girls on stage in cages dancing, and I'm like, well, I think Bill is just really just wanting to get his rocks off watching like, the kids, dressed up like that, I mean, I think everybody knew that Bill was gay,
Wow. Interesting.
I refuse to do that, and that's why I'm in none of those pictures, even though people think it's me because they replaced me, and the other guy had, he had black hair as well, but it's not me. So if you see any pictures of Pretty Boy Floyd where they're wearing cod pieces and all this garbage and everything, it's not me.
Okay. Interesting. Nice. So how many guitars do you own?
I owned a lot of guitars, and unfortunately, my storage space was just broken into like about 4 or 5 months ago. And I have, I think, about 30 guitars in there. And it's a storage space that you have to have climate control. Right, put your guitars in there, right? So it has an opening at the top, but you can, you can't really crawl through it or go through it. But if you have a ladder, you can see into the storage space and kind of like shine a flashlight and see what's in there,
Right. So
I had, a bunch of paintings and a bunch of guitars, and obviously they probably shined the light and they saw it because all they took was my guitars and paintings that I've been collecting. And so, but I have insurance, so I'm just going through the claims right now with that. But I still had probably about another 20 guitars at home. So I have maybe 50 guitars. I had like 50 guitars at one point.
Gotcha. Now then,
including a couple basses as well.
Wow. Well, I'm very sorry that you lost them. Hopefully, did you have them like listed as far as like serial numbers so they can track it if say someone tries to pawn it or bring it to a Guitar Center or one of those places?
The crazy thing is like a lot of my guitars, I customize. With like sometimes I would drill holes in them and put like rivets in them and studs or something,
right.
Or I would paint them with like skulls or stars or other things, and so, I mean, for someone to try and sell some of these guitars that I had, they're very particular guitars, and I played a lot of them on stage, and a lot of pictures of me playing a lot of these guitars. So it'd be pretty difficult for someone to try and get one of the guitars and then play it without me like kind of seeing it,
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I search. I keep on searching. Once a week I kind of go through like eBay. But it's really hard. They'll never catch these people because what they do is, they rent like a storage space, or 2 or 3 storage spaces, in the space that you're in. And what they do is that's what they do. I guess they go through these storage spaces. They steal a couple things and they just put them into another storage space. This way you don't catch them on camera walking out the door.
Interesting.
Because there's cameras. So what they do is, they put it in another storage space. There's no cameras inside the storage space, just the ones leaving and, entering the storage space.
Gotcha.
So, so then they'll put it in there. Maybe they'll take, one guitar or one painting out, maybe once a week. But they'll let it sit in there probably for like, 2 to 3 years until everything dies down. And, mine wasn't the only space. I think there was like 16 spaces that got broken into that weekend. So.
Damn. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. That really sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And unfortunately, I had my original guitar that I used for the Little Boys record on there, and kind of setting that on fire video. I want to do a video, and because that guitar had gotten put through the ringer, I think I broke the headstock on that guitar like 3 or 4 times.
Damn.
So it was repaired so much that I couldn't play it. So it was just.
Sentimental value.
The last time, for just like kind of like, I'm going to keep this guitar and eventually I'll probably, get it put in a case or something like that, and maybe hang it on a wall somewhere. I never got around to that. But anyway,
Okay. So on your downtime, when you're not playing and you're not booking, what do you like to do?
My downtime, you know, I'm always working. I'm always there's always something going through my head and something I'm doing. But I find doing little things like the batting cage. I go to this little batting cage, maybe about 15, 20 minutes from my house, you know, and I hit balls, you know.
Nice. So you're a native New Yorker, Mets or Yankees?
Oh, the Yankees fan, of course.
Excellent. All right, we can continue the interview. All right, good answer. All right.
My grandfather bringing me the games ever since I was a young kid, you know, so it instilled in me all these years.
Right on.
I like going to the shooting range. Shooting range is always a fun thing. I like there's another place to play like miniature golf where you can kind of just like bring a cooler and just have a couple of drinks and play miniature golf. I like going bowling. I like going go-karting. I like movies. I like going to see concerts and music, and I actually like seeing plays.
Nice.
Theater. Growing up in New York, actually, my parents used to take me to a lot of like Broadway and off-Broadway plays, and I love that, you know, especially the musicals.
Absolutely. Did you see Hamilton?
I did not see that one, no. We're usually the last to get everything. I mean, you know, it's like, I know if I go, you know, if I'm in New York and I'm visiting family or something like that, you know, I'll see Rent and stuff, and then like a year later, it'll come over here, and then I'll see it again, you know, or something, you know. It's just, it's always the last to kind of get something. I've seen some really bad ones, see like Titanic or something, you know, but
right on.
I love Broadway. I don't know. It's you know, a lot of bands have incorporated Broadway into their, you know, into their shows. Like I think Kiss is one of them. You know, Alice Cooper. You know, Marilyn Manson. You know, and I think that's why I love Broadway so much, that it has music and it has theater and theatrics, everything. And so it's. I don't know, to me, it goes hand in hand.
Right. So, speaking of concerts and everything, what's the last concert you went to?
I went, let's see, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I saw Alice Cooper and Ace Frehley at the Greek Theater here.
Awesome. Great show to see. So,
it was great. It was a beautiful night, and the Greek is, you know, outdoors. And,
right.
You know, it's not a big place, you know, 5,000 people tops, I think.
Right.
And, you know, every seat is a really great seat there, you know, and it was a beautiful night, and, it was a great show. I mean, Ace was killing it, and Alice, Jesus Christ, what is he, 70-something now? And
yep.
Amazing.
And his band backing him up is just ridiculous. You know,
great Chuck and Glenn and Tommy. Yeah. Did you know Tommy Henderson from New York?
Yeah.
Remember he had a band called Rough Cut.
Yes.
I was just cover songs and everything.
Yeah.
The Stage Door. I used to go see them, I think, every Thursday at like the Stage Door.
I saw him at the Dirt Club, believe it or not.
The Dirt Club, oh my God, yeah. So Tommy, in fact, I ran into him. He came to see our show over at the Whiskey at the time, like the Vampires and Alice Cooper, and it was good seeing him, actually.
Right on.
It was good. And then Ryan Rossi, obviously, as well, too. Yeah, all great musicians, you know.
Nice. All right. I'm a bit of a car enthusiast. I need to know, what kind of car do you drive?
You know, I've been a Mercedes man for the last like 25 years.
Cool.
So, you know, there's just something about these luxury freaking Mercedes cars that I just love. You know, you can drive over like a speed bump and I can feel it. So I just picked up a new Mercedes E350, and I kind of blacked it all out.
Nice.
And I absolutely love it. So that's my one car, and then I bought an ML350 and then Mercedes ML350, the SUV.
Cool.
So those are my two cars. But before that, you know, I got to tell you, I did spend 5 years on rebuilding a 1968 Mustang GT. And,
wow.
You know, it was like kind of like my weekend thing that I used to love to do. And this one was married, and I was living over in Racino, and, you know, we had a beautiful house and garage and everything. And so I had like a lot of room to work on it.
Right.
So yeah, it took me 5 years, I think, to restore it, and I restored it, and it looked great. People used to follow me, when they would follow me around, literally, and wait for me to stop somewhere, and they would get out, and they like whip out a checkbook and say, "How much?" I'm like, "It's not for sale, man." That's
a Steve McQueen Bullet car, right?
What's that?
Is that Steve McQueen's car that he used in the Bullet?
I don't know. The Mustang GT? I'm not sure if he used the Mustang GT. It was black on black.
Wow.
And, it was mint. It was a complete showroom car. And, I was so paranoid about it, but I went and got hood locks. I had ignition kills. I had, the steering wheel lock on it. I had everything, every alarm put on it. And one night that I was too lazy to move on the cars and stick it in the garage, getting home at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I think I went to go see one of my clients, the Mistress, at the House of Blues. Mm-hmm. And me and my wife, she was tired. She's like, just leave it here for the night. Oh, fine, I'm only going to be here for a couple hours. Blah, blah, blah. But one night that I did that, I woke up in the morning and it was gone.
Oh my God, no.
I mean, they must have literally flatbedded it, I'm like,
damn.
Gone in 60 seconds? Definitely gone in 60 seconds.
Damn. I think you should need to write a song called Guitars and Cars. Like a tragedy song, like a slow song, like a country song, They stole my heart, they stole my car, they stole my guitar. There you go. Something like that,
A country song, right? A sad song about that, yeah. Oh, boy, yeah, but now, sort of like going this car out here and pretty much anywhere. People are just going to follow you around. Eventually, they're just going to come up with a flatbed and yank that freaking car up because there's nothing to stop it from a flatbed stealing the car.
Sure,
you can do everything in the world to it, and there ain't no flatbed, and you're going to be able to pull that thing up and pull it up on it and tow it away in like a minute and a half. And those cars are worth more money for parts than they are anything else.
True. And sorry for that too. So now, Public Enemies, the last album that has been recorded for Pretty Boy Floyd. It's been out almost a year now. How did that come about?
I think it was, we started working on it in somewhere around 2012.
Wow. Okay.
When we were, we never put out another record. And I was just like, I love the Little Boys record, but we really got some other stuff here. And I'm getting sick and bored, So we started working on some stuff, and we started it in 2012, and we were probably about halfway done with it, and then me and Steve had a pretty big blow up. And unfortunately, we let social media involved in it and get involved with it. And so, big mistake, and that'll never happen again. So that's all good. But yeah, I think it was about 2015 maybe or so. I don't know, I think they were doing the Cat House Live or something.
Right.
Over here at my Meadows.
Yeah.
And they put in an offer and for, a whole bunch of bands to play. And one of the offers were Pretty Boy Floyd. So they were like, hey, you want to do the show? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, yeah, come on, let's do it. The thing is like, I've known Steve for 30, 15 years, man. But, 30 years. We're not going to get along all the time. We're not going to agree on everything in life.
Right.
So, when we just met up, I was like, man, we don't need to apologize or whatever. But, I'm like, let's just, let's do the show. If it goes good, then, we'll keep on moving forward or something. I go, let's just try and get guys who are not going to be, trauma.
Right.
Let's just get, I'm not going to be drama. So I got my buddy JK, from the he's a fellow New Yorker as well. So, and I knew him when I was I was about 16, 17 years old in New York. So got him involved, and then we went to a couple of the evolving drummers, you know, and yeah, and then we did the show, and it was kind of drama-free, and so I was like, cool, well, you know, maybe we can do another one. So we started doing a couple more, and actually, I think between that 3 years, like, Steve really kind of, I don't know, kind of calmed down a lot. You know, there was a time when he was, when he had just got married, and he was drinking kind of heavily at the time, you know, and yeah, he kind of stopped doing all that and everything, so it was much easier to get along with him.
Nice.
And then as we were starting to work on the record even more, Frontiers was signing a bunch of bands, and so they had, you know, emailed me and said, hey, you know, what do you got for the Floyd record? You know, so I played them. I sent them like maybe 4 songs. They were like, cool, well, you know, make the rest of the record like this, and we're good to go. And I was like, okay. And that's what we did.
Nice. So speaking of your discography, of all the albums that you guys have done together, do you have a favorite Pretty Boy Floyd song?
Favorite Pretty Boy Floyd song? Oh, wow. Wild Angels is one of my favorites.
Awesome.
It's a cool song, you know. I like playing it. It's got some elements of a ballad, but it's also, you know, kind of a rocker as well too. So yeah, I like that song a lot. And yeah, Rock and Outlaws is a really good song too. I like playing that one too.
Cool. All right.
And a lot of those other records that you might see is like this one record label that I will not mention, just kind of like repackaging stuff, just putting different titles on it, and I'm kind of pissed about it because I think it's deceiving the fans. Unfortunately, there's nothing I could do about it.
Right. You can't, you know, no lawsuit, nothing like that. Do you own
you know, unfortunately, at the time when we did the deal with them, you know, there was like there's a clause in there about coupling and all this other stuff and everything, you know, and it's just like. Yeah, and it's just like it's constant, you know, repackaging with different names and, you know, changing the song title around and stuff or something, you know, and putting different pictures on the album covers and calling it something different. And just, you know, it's deceiving the fans. I wish it wouldn't have happened, but, you know, what are you going to do? It happens to all the bands, I think, out there eventually.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, too. So I have to ask you, besides Steve and the bandmates and everything, you have like a rock star friend that you guys like actually hang out with? Like you can call so-and-so and say, hey, let's go grab a beer and let's go do pitch and putt, like you said you like to do, or go to the shooting range.
With one of my guy friends? Or did you say girls?
Guy friends?
Oh, one of my guy friends? Are you?
Yeah. That are in the industry?
That are in the industry?
Yeah.
You know, my friend Al, you know, he would pretty much be down pretty much for anything. He kind of makes clothes, so he's involved in the industry, but he's a good friend. As far as me hanging out with the band members from Floyd, we really don't hang out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know, it's like I think it's kind of like, you know, spend the week, you know, spend a weekend together here, spend a weekend together there, a week here, you know, and it's like, you know, that's good enough, you know.
Right on. Okay.
You know,
nice.
You don't want to rock the boat. You know, things are going smooth. You don't want to rock the boat. You know,
totally get that and respect that.
That's what it's come down to. I mean, you know, I kind of miss it. You know, because when we were younger, obviously, you know, when we had our bands, you know, we were kind of like a gang. You know, it was kind of like, you know, us against the world. You know, we got to get the deal. You know, we're gonna conquer the world with our music and blah blah blah. You know, and as you get older, you're kind of like, yeah, you know, what you do your thing, you know, do my thing. It's all good.
Nice.
So funny how your priorities change as you get older.
Right on. So, and a couple more questions. I know you probably have to go eat some dinner or something because time difference. So if you hear one of your songs on the radio Do you listen to it or do you turn it off?
I don't even listen to the radio.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't hear one of my songs on the freaking radio. I mean, when I'm in my car, that's when I usually get my news. I listen to like AM radio, the station is called KNX 1070, and the only reason why I like to get my news from there is because all they do is kind of they just report it. They just say, like, this is what's happening. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. And they're not giving opinions, and they're not interviewing people to give their opinions or anything like that. They're just stating the facts. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened today. And that's it. And nowadays, I find all the news channels now are, they're all fighting for your advertising dollars, so they're doing whatever they possibly can to, get ratings.
Right.
So if that includes, with CNN now, which is just a joke, you can't even watch it all. I don't even think, because it's just like, they're not even reporting the news. All they're doing is like, talking to people and having people bash on other people, and that's all it is. So I'm just tired of that, and I can't stand it. So I don't listen to the news. I don't know. Maybe I should get satellite radio. Maybe I could start listening to her and and then I'll hear a Pretty Boy Floyd song. I don't know.
Gotcha. Or you could listen to my podcast. So you could do that too.
Okay.
A little selfish plug there. So
right on.
Got it. Yeah, every once in a while, So, any advice for up and coming musicians?
Don't expect to get rich playing music.
Okay. Nice.
I cared more when I was younger.
Right.
I never cared about being famous or anything like that. That was like the last thing in my mind. I could care less. I think I had two dreams, and I was like, one, I wanted to get a record deal, and two, I wanted to play Madison Square Garden. So I got the record deal, but I would never play Madison Square Garden. I don't know, probably never will, but oh well. But all I wanted was really just to be able to support myself, pay my bills, and be able to be involved with music. And that's all I really cared about.
Nice.
And, I always tell people nowadays, who complain about, like, oh, hey, man, we didn't get this, we didn't get that. Hey, we should be making more money, we should be that. I just say, you should be thankful that you're actually getting paid to do what you actually love to do.
Right.
I mean, anytime anybody can say that, that's a big day.
Right on. Okay.
That's just my feeling.
Right on. Okay. And last but not least, what's next for you? As far as are you maybe thinking about writing a book? Another Pretty Boy Floyd CD?
I'm not going to write a book, but and as far as music, yeah, we are going to. I already started it. We started recording the next Pretty Boy Floyd record that we're going to put out on Frontiers as well.
Awesome.
So that's definitely in the works, and 2019 release.
Cool. Well, we definitely would love to have you on to, promote that as well.
Awesome. I'd love to.
Sweet. All right. So I just wanted to say thank you so much again, man.
Thanks, you too. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.